Well, I want to walk through a little bit of vocabulary from a cybersecurity perspective, and I'll differentiate between security events, security incidents, and security breaches, because you'll hear in popular media, all three of those are used interchangeably. Some of them are more inflammatory than others, but also think about how you talk about this internally within your organization. Just be aware, security events are normal. They occur all the time. If I log into a system and I'm permitted to do so, that's a security event that logs activity. If I access content or update a document, that's a security event. If I log into the accounting system, security event. I make a change to an entry inside of a transaction processing system that I'm privileged to access, security event. The security team that you've put in place, the process and the people and the tools element of it, they're watching for security indicators. And security indicators are unusual activity that level of situational awareness, the structural awareness that you have in your environment is saying, this looks like it needs further scrutiny. This looks like it needs further scrutiny because it's different than what our normal behavior looks like. So the security team's job is to then say, okay, great, let's start going through investigation. We've detected something. Let's start responding and recovering. But they have to inform, they have to start that incident response process. That incident response process is a business level decision. Specifically, security incidents and security breaches shouldn't be the domain of the security team to declare. The security team can say, we think we have a possible incident going. That should start your incident response plan. That should get the appropriate people notified. They should be part of that. But ultimately, whether something is a security incident or a security breach has to be a leadership determination, because that has business implications for your organization. We still want the security team to start going through response and recovery appropriate to what your incident response plan dictates they should be doing. But just be aware, from a terminology standpoint, you wouldn't want someone inside your organization to say, oh, I just got a phishing email, we've got a security breach. It wouldn't make sense. Imagine somebody getting on social media that sits next to them saying, oh, there's a security breach going on inside my company. That's how quickly that terminology could get out of control, and it can have downstream impacts for you.
I know this might seem like semantics to a lot of people, and like attorneys, we're word people, right? Words matter for attorneys. Well, in this case, they really matter. And the reason they really matter is because as soon as anybody within your organization starts calling something a security incident or a security breach via any sort of correspondence, whether it's email or Slack or Teams or Signal or whatever, that information, those correspondence, that's discoverable in the event of a suit that follows a breach. And if suddenly somebody within your organization is saying, well, we have a security incident days or weeks before the organization officially declares it, then you could have a plaintiff saying, well, look, organization, general counsel, CEO, someone within your organization knew that this was a security incident and you didn't. Clearly, that's a communication problem. You're still going to be liable for declaring that incident when your team first started talking about it. Similarly, if you've got the SEC coming after you, if you're a publicly traded company, that's really going to kick off or be very indicative of the materiality of the cyber incident. If your team is calling it a security incident or a security breach very early on, that really is going to kickstart when that materiality review and when that cyber incident is going to be determined to be a material cyber incident, after which you have 4 days to report to the SEC or to file an 8K saying we suffered a material breach. But these time windows, these timelines, are entirely predicated on what seem to be semantic.
A security incident response plan is that business level plan to say, when we see these types of indicators and we don't have a benign explanation for it, or we're starting to even investigate this category of indicators because of the potential risk, the incident response plan kicks in and it starts to dictate who, what, when, where, how are we going to respond to this, who's in charge, how do we do it. What's important on this is that the incident response plan actually starts during the current investigation of the security event, when it suggests that a asset compromise could be occurring or has occurred. You want to get the people on your team, get that expertise mobilized as soon as you believe, yep, this could be happening right now. We don't have a benign explanation for it. Let's actually treat it as if it would potentially develop into an incident or breach. Let's start collecting what we need to have so that we can respond appropriately, maintain that resiliency, minimize the damage, and return to a normal business operating state.